I don't like this. This is a disgrace, to be honest. It is reaching a point when no one wants to use their brain. Of course, after the Salah interview, I kind of released the video and I was like, yeah, you shouldn't have said some stuff. But you go and read and you respond and you go and analyze and see what Salah is talking about. This is way bigger than Arne Slot versus Mohamed Salah. This is not Arne Slot versus Mohamed Salah. It's the media against Mohamed Salah. It's the club. Some of the people at the club are against Mohamed Salah. We're going to read between the lines. But we're going to all talk about it. I'm going to show you what Michael Owen said about it, what NBC analyzed, Sky Sports, and what the fans have said about him. And also the disgraced Paul Joyce, of course, article about him, kind of throwing Mohamed Salah really under the bus here. He's actually emphasizing, he's a mouthpiece for the football club. And I'm going to tell you what I think about all of this, about what Michael Owen said about Mohamed Salah in his interview. And he was asked about it after the interview yesterday. And NBC actually, again, pundits are taking only part of his interview, which is probably, I was mistaken to do that, taking only part of the interview and not looking between the lines. I'm going to show you exactly the quotes that I'm talking about, that you need to think. Use your mind and use your brain when you're analyzing what Mohamed Salah have said. It is not, this is not about Arne Slot. This is way bigger than Arne Slot. It's way bigger than this. But before we go on and do that, hit the like button, people, if you're here. I'm Judge Mo. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Help me get to 50,000 subs by liking the video. One like for every view would take this video a long, long way. Actually, it takes the video to new viewers. Let's start by seeing what Michael Owen have said and comment on it. Of course.
Tend to do many, only when he's going to drop a bombshell like this one. And of course he did one, didn't he, when his contract negotiations were all in the spotlight as well. My take on it is I totally understand how Mo Salah is feeling. That's just the mindset of a champion. He's not, listen, you can compare him to someone like Andy Robertson. Andy Robertson must be absolutely pig sick that someone like Kirkes has come in, not playing that well, but Kirkes continues to play. But Andy Robertson has done it in a certain way, been professional, been supportive, and all these things. But when it happens to Mo Salah, you've got to understand that to be the great that Mo Salah is, that comes with a problem. He's got a mentality of a Cristiano Ronaldo or somebody like that. I mean, these players, they're match winners. They will win you leagues or win you Champions Leagues. You don't mess with them. You don't drop them. You don't, you know, they're tuned differently to the normal squad player. So I totally get where he's coming from. But, and there is a huge but, you simply cannot, in a team game, come out and say things like you've just said. It's an unwritten rule. It's forbidden. You shouldn't do it. And now he's created chaos within the club.
Before we actually go to the second part of the interview, actually, when he's asked about is there a way back, I understand what he's saying, but Mohamed Salah is not Andy Robertson. And again, he's talking about Mohamed Salah sitting on the bench. I don't think Mohamed Salah had a problem with sitting on the bench more than the relation with Arne Slot. What happened? Why the manager is not talking to him? And I'm going to explain to you later my read on this, because I think it's way deeper than Arne Slot. It is much, much deeper. But now, let's hear what Michael Owen said about, is there a way back for Mohamed Salah at Liverpool? Before we go on, I don't like that the media are piling on him. And no one wants to hear his side of the story, because I know that nobody wants to go against Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes. No one. Let's hear this.
You think there is a way back after saying something like this?
Well, potentially. I mean, all he has to do is say sorry and, you know, emotions got the better of me and I want to win so much and blah, 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 you know. So, yeah, I'm sure there is a way back. But Liverpool fans will be scarred once or twice now by Mo Salah and what he said. And
actually, we're going to show you some of the Liverpool fans outside the stadium that were interviewed. I think most of the Liverpool fans are on Mohamed Salah's side here. Most of the people I speak to are on Mohamed Salah's side. And I stand corrected. I have discussed this with Hussam. I have discussed this with other Liverpool fans. And they explained to me what they see, and their vision is clear. This is not about Arne Slot. It is not. It's much, much bigger than Arne Slot, and I'm going to show you why.
And certainly the club as well. So whether he's at a stage of his career now where people think, right, okay, well, he said this now, and we let it go first time, and now he's created another big situation. Maybe it is time, if he's got his designs on moving abroad, maybe to Saudi or something like that, then it might be the right time if nobody can agree on things. So yeah, that is probably the next question. I do think there is, a part of him that could say sorry and that could integrate himself back into things, but I don't know. It's he's making it very difficult for himself now.
I don't think he's making it very difficult for himself. I genuinely believe it is not about that. I think this is bigger than Arne Slot. And I think, and I'm gonna show you, before I play the next clip, let me show you the fans actually, what the fans think about this actually on the BBC. Mohamed Salah spoke against the club. Mohamed Salah didn't only speak against Arne Slot. He said that Arne Slot has benched him and there was no relation. And I'm going to actually show you the tweets. Actually, let's show some of them now about what he said actually about the tweets. And I'm going to tell you what Mohamed Salah is in the right here. And that is in this tweet. This is Fabrizio Romano's tweet, and this is the quotes from the interview. It is very clear that someone wants me to get the blame. The club promised in the summer a lot of promises to me, and so far I am on the bench for 3 games, and I can say, all I can say is keep the promise. I don't think he was promised a spot. I think he was promised for the club to back him. I think he wants to retire at Liverpool. I think he wants to see out his contract. Mohamed Salah is saying, I had a good relation with the manager. All of a sudden, we don't have any relationship. I genuinely believe, and that is my opinion. I want to hear you as well. I genuinely believe that Mohamed Salah feels that someone instructed the manager to put him on the bench and not talk to him. Someone that is higher than Arne Slot. It seems to be me. How I see it, someone doesn't want me to be at the club. That someone cannot be Arne Slot, because Mohamed Salah at Liverpool is bigger than Arne Slot as a legend. Arne Slot has won the league, but Mohamed Salah is bigger. I actually didn't read between the lines yesterday, and now I'm reading it. He didn't say that Arne Slot doesn't want him on the team. He is speaking about someone bigger. It looks like Michael Edward and Richard Hughes want him outside of the club, and him speaking about the club not backing him. After what I have done for the club, it really hurts. You can imagine. And I don't think he's talking about him playing or not playing because he scored a lot of goals. I know that he said that part. I know that he said I earned my spot on all of this, which is something I disagree with. And I still disagree that nobody earned a spot on merit. You got to work for it. But what he spoke about the club backing him, someone like Jamie Carragher, for example, is the first to criticize Mohamed Salah after any drop of form. But he wouldn't do that for others. It took him a bit to start criticizing the likes of Van Dijk. It took him a bit to start criticizing others. And he is always against Mohamed Salah. And I've said that from years and years since the Mane and the Firmino time. He's always been against Mohamed Salah. And I'm going to show you the rest of the tweets, actually. But before we do that, let's listen and hear what the fans are talking about, of course, in terms of like what they think about Salah, what they think about is he the one to take the blame? But I want you to let me know in the comment section as well. Do you think there is a way back? There are scenarios in my head, and I spoke to Osama about it on MHF. If you haven't checked that video, go check it out. There is a way back, which is a new manager, and Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes can fix it. A new manager can come in and say that I want Mohamed Salah on the team. That's what Osam said, and I agree with him 100%. Let's listen to see what the fans actually, do they actually think that Mohamed Salah is to blame here? Let's actually hear them and see what these people think of Mohamed Salah.
I don't blame him at all. He's not, being made to be a scapegoat in my eyes.
Mohamed Salah shocked the footballing world last night with his quotes claiming that he's been thrown under the bus by Liverpool and that his relationship with manager Arne Slot has broken down. We're at Anfield to find out what the Liverpool fans think.
You can't say that position's mine because of what I've done for the club. That position's whoever's playing best in that position, mate.
Great player that he is, you can't say that, really, ever.
I agree with him. I do think he is getting a little bit let down. He's done so much for the club since he's been there.
No team has a player that deserves, you've got to play for that place. And this season he hasn't been playing for that place. So for me, he should be on the bench.
I don't blame him at all. He's not, being made to be a scapegoat in my eyes.
Well, frustration is frustration, isn't it? Everyone's human at the end of the day, so yeah. Say what you got to say, do what you got to do. Everyone's got emotions. He's probably frustrated himself, so that's that, isn't it?
I don't blame him.
That is exactly what maybe some of them think, that stuck in the point of, yeah, he has said that, he shouldn't have said that I earned my spot. And I agree with them. It's not that I don't disagree. I agree that nobody earns a spot, right? But again, in the same time, it's about the club backing him. Maybe coming out of the statement. He's one of the legends, actually. And you do not send, with all due respect, and I'm going to say this, to be honest with you guys. I actually going to say this. I'm actually going to say here and sit here and say this before I actually play this video. I'm not going to, I think that Paul Joyce, if Mo Salah loves Liverpool, why he has thrown hand grenade into the season? I'm going to answer you, Paul, because he feels like he's been pushed out of the club. He has a contract and he's feeling that he has been pushed out of the club. Liverpool Football Club, and I'm going to say this, I might get cancelled for it. I might get cancelled for what I'm about to say, to be honest. I think Liverpool Football Club have sent everyone against Mohamed Salah now. You look at the big accounts. You look at what everyone is talking about, and they're all against Mohamed Salah. Here you go. FSG, now they are telling Paul Joyce to say that they are backing Arne Slot, as you see in front of you. You know what I mean? Which owns Liverpool, wants Slot to come through what is proven hugely difficult second season. Okay? So you're basically saying, and this guy, Sam Wallace, a journalist, he said Mohamed Salah made it all about himself. I actually think he made it about himself because he's being scapegoated, because they want to sell him. And no one wants to talk about that part. Everyone is talking about the bench part. Even on NBC, they're talking about the bench part. Forget the bench part. I want to know, are they pushing him out of the club? Listen, I spoke against Chelsea pushing the likes of Sterling. You signed the contract with the player. You have to have mutual agreement. It is your responsibility as a football club. Liverpool gave Mohamed Salah the contract. If Mohamed Salah drops in form, fine. But I think he feels like he's being pushed out by he is actually now, they're trying to sell him now. I don't think, again, it's his will, it looks like. Mohamed Salah made it all about himself. A difficult decision loomed for the club and the player. And again, another one is that PSG wants Arne Slot to come through. Right? Right? Patience will be limitless. Will not be limitless, but results will ultimately dictate Salah's future, not Salah stomping his feet. I'm going to tell you something. There are players in the dressing room. There are multiple players in the dressing room that will see this situation and they will think, maybe we can do this to the next manager. However, a lot of players also will think, what if Michael Edward and Richard Hughes they don't want us at the club? What will happen then? People need to think about that. Mohamed Salah has a lot of friends at the football club. Mohamed Salah has a lot of friends in terms of teammates, and he will tell them the truth. And if they all turn, it will be a chaos. Let's see what these guys said about Mohamed Salah. Again, people are piling on him for no reason. And let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Hit that like button. Let me know. Listen to this. Robbie Mustoe and Lee Dixon talking about the situation again. You had all night to think about it, and you were asked in 24 hours to dissect it, read between the lines, and see. Let's hear.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, that summarised so much was spoken there. So many troubling words, I got to say. I've earned my position might be the thing that jars me most of all. I've earned my position for what I've done at this club. This is not acceptable to me to be out with the team. That's what he's talking about. And we'll get into all the details. But for any player, Rebecca, to feel like they are undroppable or they have some divine right to always be in the team is crazy. That's crazy. That's a deluded, entitled superstar that feels like the manager wants him out of the club. I'll say it. He kind of said it there, that somebody wants me out of the club.
Why don't you read between the lines that he said that the man... I'm going to repeat again for the people in the back that didn't hear me. He didn't say that the manager wants him out of the club. He said that I had a relationship with the manager and suddenly I have no relation with him. As he's telling us, that has been instructed. The manager been instructed by someone at the club to have a bad relation with Mohamed Salah, so he can be upset and they can sell him. That is what people don't understand.
It's just crazy. Everybody has to sit on the bench. And instead of coming out with this public statement, how about fighting for the team, for the manager, for the fans, of them supporting you? Of course, he's been magnificent for them. But a 2-year mega contract, the first little sign of some tough times for the team, the manager and him, and he goes publicly saying, this is not acceptable, I don't know what's going to happen now. I think we all know what's going to happen. He's probably going to leave the club.
Where do you start, Lee?
I actually don't think that Mohamed Salah wants to leave Liverpool. Genuinely, I don't. Because if Mohamed Salah wants to leave Liverpool, he would have left quietly. He would have sold him in January. They would have accepted something in January. I think Mohamed Salah saying this is him saying, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave the club. I actually think about it. He doesn't want to go. He doesn't.
I've got highlighters all over the place. I've run out of ink. The thing that gets me is that it's very similar to what Robbie said, but the club always is bigger than the player and has to be bigger than the player. That's the thing that stands out for me, is because if you don't have that situation, then what if 3 or 4 of the other players think the same? All of a sudden, you've got anarchy on board. You've got a manager who's got players completely out of control. So the club has to be the main focus. It's Slot's main focus. He's trying to do a job. This is professional sport. We're not in the schoolyard playing, you know, as a 9-year-old. This is professional sport. That's why it's called professional. You get paid handsomely. He says, well, all the things I've done for the club. Absolutely. He's a legend of the club, or he was. When he's seen like this later on, and we don't know how this is going to end, but he's third highest record goal scorer for the club. So he is a legend. But you cannot behave in a way that jeopardises Liverpool Football Club. And that's the most important thing, bar none, bar anything. They're a brilliant football club. They're trying to run it in a way. Slot's trying to get them up the league. And all of a sudden, he's throwing his toys away.
Slot is not trying to get him up the league. Slot is literally ruining the team. And I think Slot should have been sacked. I'm going to tell you something about Liverpool. And I think it's part of the promises. Now, forget the promises. Liverpool said that they're giving Arne Slot 3 games, right? West Ham, they lost the game, now the Leeds game and the Sunderland game. He has won 1. He has won 1. So has he fixed it? He hasn't. He has come out with 5 points out of 9. It's still going backwards. You bottled it twice. So why is he still at the job? Listen, Mohamed Salah is going to AFCON, and this is going to end. Mohamed Salah is going to go to AFCON. There will be talks about his transfers. But they're still backing Arne Slot is beyond me, actually. Nobody wants to think that maybe Mohamed Salah is thinking bigger than Arne Slot. Maybe he's talking about Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards.
And saying, do you know what? It's not my fault. Part of the problem. He is part of the problem because his numbers are right down, so he has to take the consequences of that, and that might be sitting on the bench for a bit. Just grow up. Just be representative of Liverpool Football Club with that badge on your chest and show yourself to have a bit of pride in that, not just about you and then other things.
I think there are many things that he said is correct, but also Lee Dixon is other things that are not correct at all, actually, about the club itself and all this stuff. I want to hear from you guys. It's the last part. I want you just to see how people talk about Mohamed Salah, the hate, the way they talk about him. It drives me crazy. Listen, I'm honest. I think part of him talking about the bench is wrong. Talking about him playing on merit because he earned the spot is wrong. And I'm going to stay on this. Nobody deserves a spot in any team in the world. You're getting paid to play, so you got to work for the team. But I actually think that it's way bigger than this.
Slot, because it feels like now we might be seeing a power play here between Arne Slot and Mohamed Salah.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie Carragher, who Salah had a pop at as well in the interview, came out a few weeks ago and said, well, he only speaks when he wants a new contract. So I guess the question is, what does he want from doing this interview? And I think the obvious thing is to set up, as Jonathan says, a kind of rift between him and Slot. You know, it's him or me, and it does read that way. You know, it's hard to imagine a kind of future for both of them at Liverpool as it stands after this Salah interview. So, again, as Jonathan said, he's in the position of strength. Slot and Liverpool are weak at the moment. In a way, it kind of feels opportunistic. I wonder how, you know, I wonder whether this was planned before the game, because if Liverpool had won that game 2-0, as arguably they should have done, or indeed held on at 3-2, it would have been much harder for Salah to come out and kind of do this explosive take. I think, you know, it's pretty rare that Premier League clubs, you know, look forward to the AFCON, but I guess for Liverpool, it kind of can't come soon enough now. I guess he goes out the way, but this is going to hang over them. And I think, yeah, he's created a kind of him or me scenario, and it'd be fascinating to see how it plays out from here.
I don't think it's him versus Slot, though. I genuinely don't believe it's Mohamed Salah versus Salah. I think it's Mohamed Salah versus the hierarchy. Because we know that now or tomorrow, Arne Slot is going to get sacked. Within the next week, they're going to lose to Inter. And he's going to get sacked, or they're going to lose next week. Something is going to happen, and Arne Slot will be sacked. Brighton, I think they will lose to Brighton as well. Will Mohamed Salah be there with the new manager? Will they actually keep him at the club, Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes? Because he spoke against him. I think he's speaking against him. That is what I think. You let me know, guys, in the comment section. I don't like the media piling on him. No one wants to understand his point of view. Only the fans will understand his point of view. I understand it now. I stand corrected, and I know what is going on now. And genuinely, I believe that there is something bigger than him, and it should have been dealt. They should have been dealing with it. I'm sure that Mohamed Salah might have spoken to people, and people didn't want to give him answers. He said that. Let me know, guys, what you guys think, because this is it's much bigger than even Salah or Arne Slot or anybody. This is a cloud hanging over Liverpool Football Club. Let me know in the comment section. Make sure to hit that like button, guys. If you guys are here, subscribe to the channel. If you guys are new, of course. And I will see you guys on the next video, of course. And make sure to check out okjersey.com. See you guys in the next video. We're out, people.